So in the webinar today we covered a lot of things, but I think the main messages that I was trying to get across were about really figuring out what your organisation is about, learning what the culture of your organisation is, and then building on that by introducing a scheme or something that's going to accommodate for that. So if you know that you've got a huge organisation with hundreds and thousands of employees, you will probably need to look at something a lot larger scale, something like an online database and suggestion scheme. If you've got a scheme that's under 100 people, you know, again, work with what works for your organisation, maybe go with paper-based or face-to-face, and you can always build. Trial and error is always gonna help out. I think the key message to take away from today's webinar is about transparency. I think having the transparency there so that people who are making suggestions know where their ideas are going, whether they're being looked into, whether they're being considered, and having that transparency from the top down as well. You know, why have we introduced this scheme? What is it that we want to get out of it? So having that transparency just kind of gives people more of an opportunity to feel like they're actually involved. They don't feel like they're being hidden out in the dark about something, and it just makes things a lot more open, makes it easier for things to flow back and forth, so you have something to build on.
Main points I shared from the Staff Ideas webinar today were about the importance of listening to what staff have to say. I used the phrase of many hands make light work, and it's true. There are lots of people working in organisations who've got lots of interesting things. They know about how things work. It's about grasping that information and using it to make the business function better. One key message I want people to take away from this, if you're engaging staff and listening to their ideas, is to close the loop. So you've listened to what they've got to say, but let them know what's happened with what they put forward. Nothing worse than providing some information and it disappears into the black hole. Close that loop, let them know what happened, whether it was positive or it didn't work, but just let them know.
The main points I talked about today in the webinar were all around continuous improvement and staff ideas, with changes that are going to be happening in the near future in the public sector. It's more important than ever that all staff are included in any change programmes or any ideas or suggestion schemes that organisations take up. Well, the one key message I'd like delegates to take away from the webinar today is that staff suggestion schemes and continuous improvement live hand in hand. If you are going to make any changes in your organisation, then who best to take these changes forward but your own staff?
The messages I shared today were mostly around the importance of understanding your organisation and the culture and what you want to get out of an idea scheme, and making sure you're transparent and manage expectations right from the beginning. The key message that delegates should really walk away from is that it's not easy, and you should make it as easy as you can for yourself by keeping it as simple as you possibly can. Don't just expect an IT system to deliver you something. It does need a human touch to it as well.